To the E. coli outbreak linked to McDonald's Quarter Pounders, one person has died and at least 49 other people have gotten sick.
And part of that is really the U.S. FDA really improving their ways of quality control. So E. coli contaminated food, the things that you should be concerned about a couple days after you ingest the food are like stomach cramps, fever.
3 times the bacteria in a single McDonald's burger. That's how this story starts, and it's not just about food poisoning, it's about control. Every detail, from the menu placement to the smell of fries leaking through vents, is part of a larger plan. You're not a guest here, you're a target. The arches aren't a welcome sign, they're a kill box for your decisions. If you were under attack, you'd scan for weak points. So why not here? Stay with me, I'll show you the tactics McDonald's uses to make sure you never walk away clean. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. You thought you walked in for dinner. In reality, you walked into an ambush zone where every weapon is aimed at your senses. The signs are bright, the air is heavy with a familiar signal, and even before you open your mouth, the terrain has already been mapped against you.
To the E. coli outbreak linked to McDonald's Quarter Pounders, one person has died and at least 49 other people have gotten sick.
Can really contribute to a possible listeria infection. A lot of times it's cooked out. People don't ever realize that there was any listeria there in the first place.
You may see a counter with choices, but what you face is a battlefield of influence. McDonald's is not a simple chain of restaurants. It is a machine built for command and control. Every element works like a unit in a larger operation. Scents are deployed as forward scouts, menus are positioned like artillery lines, and childhood memories function like sleeper cells waiting to be triggered. What looks like hospitality is actually a tactical net woven around your attention and your appetite.
The CDC says the numbers could be higher because it takes up to 4 weeks to determine if a sick person is part of the outbreak.
Vomiting, severe diarrhea. The diarrhea is really what's dangerous. It could land you in the hospital for some rehydration and other therapies.
Most people step inside convinced they have freedom of choice. They believe the menu is an open field where they can march where they want. But the truth is sharper. That field is marked with hidden trenches and decoys. The architecture of choice has already been written long before you cross the threshold. Placement, color, and sequence lock your eyes in a predictable path. The illusion of freedom is just that, an illusion. Consider the fry smell. It is no accident that it greets you before your vision clears. That signal drifts from hidden vents, carried straight into your nose like a precision strike on your brain's sensory command center. Your hunger responds before you can think, because scent has a direct route past logic.
I think we're definitely reporting on more illnesses, and I think part of that is because we have better tests to detect things. E. coli contaminated food, the things that you should be concerned about a couple days after you ingest the food are like stomach cramps, fever, and so again, this one is a bacteria that can cause headaches and progress into meningitis.
The moment it fires, you remember childhood stops, late-night drives, and the countless times you've tasted the same crisp bite. That is not nostalgia, that is engineering. The human sense of smell bypasses rational filters. It travels on a faster road into the part of the brain tied to emotion and memory. Imagine a missile hitting the control tower before ground troops even leave the base. That's the scale of advantage this tactic delivers. By the time your eyes hit the menu board, you are already compromised. Then the conflict deepens. Take the Happy Meal. Framed as a gift, branded as joy, but in reality it operates as an indoctrination package. The toy is bait. The packaging splashes with colors designed to capture young eyes. Children see reward, parents see convenience, and beneath both responses lies reinforcement conditioning.
And part of that is really the U.S. FDA really improving their ways of quality control and prevent them getting into the food sources and trying to keep people as healthy as we can. So when people get sick, we can go back and figure out what is making them sick.
A small unit of brand loyalty implanted at age 5 can last decades. This is not random. Generational loyalty doesn't arise by accident. Corporations build scaffolding through repetition, celebration, and reward cycles. McDonald's has mastered the loop: start with the toy, link it to a treat, stamp it with familiar sound and image, then repeat the drill. By the time that child grows into an adult, the golden signal doesn't just look like food, it looks like safety. That is the cost of conditioning at scale. Meanwhile, the battle lines stretch to the menu itself. The cheapest food, the so-called survival rations, are buried where you hardly notice them. Small black and white print at corners, tucked under more dominant items. What commands the front line are combo meals, bright boxes, large photos, packaged as value but priced for margin. These work like heavy equipment parked at the gate. They dominate vision, restrict options, and funnel the majority of orders into the same costly channels. Every inch is designed for effect. Lighting levels, color contrast, font size, they operate as a layered defense system, ensuring your decision falls into one of their traps. And by the time you've ordered, the system has already achieved its objectives: higher spend, repeat visits, emotional anchors set deeper. So what does that make you? Not a guest. A target. You are maneuvered into a kill box made not of steel and fire but of fries, toys, and price boards. And piece by piece, your wallet, your time, and your habits are bled by design. But food itself is not neutral here. Beyond the battlefield of smell and sight lies another layer. The very chemical makeup of what you eat becomes the next wave of attack, engineered not for your health, but for control over your hunger and your return. If you see the tactics, you are no longer unarmed. Awareness cuts through the fog like night vision on a dark field. The ambush only works if you mistake it for welcome fire. Every drive-through is not just food, it's a planned strike. What you call a meal is in fact a loaded environment of smell, color, and price designed to extract. When you slow your car at that window, ask yourself, do you walk into it open-eyed or blindfolded? Reframe it as an ambush. Choose your response. Subscribe and join a community that studies the battlefields around us, the ones with missiles, and the ones with fries.